We are going to talk about the truth of the pentagram, which is right here, and the pentacle, which is right here. Pentacle is just a circle around a pentagram. Okay, the pentagram dates back to ancient Mesopotamia, around 3000 to 3500 BC, appearing on Sumerian pottery and cuneiform inscriptions, where it had may have represented directions, cosmological ideas, or divine concepts in ancient Greece. It was the pentagram is the Pythagoreans revered the pentagram, calling it the pentalpha, and associate it with mathematical perfection, health, and harmony, reflecting the golden ratio, and the human microcosm, with its 5 points representing the head and the limbs. Early Christians used the pentagram to symbolize the Star of Bethlehem and the 5 wounds of Christ, making it a protective and sacred emblem in medieval churches. The symbolic meaning of the pentagram, we have traditionally represented the 5 elements, which we have air, earth, fire, water, and the top being spirit. And that's of all of that, the 5 elements. And emphasizing its supremacy over material elements, it embodies wholeness, protection, balance, and the cycle of life. And has been used in rituals, art, and architecture to convey harmony and divine knowledge in Wicca and modern paganism. The pentagram often appears within a circle called the pinnacle, and that is to enhance its protective qualities and spiritual significance. Whenever the pentagram is inside the circle, that's the pinnacle. In misconception and modern usage, despite its positive historical meaning, the pentagram has been misinterpreted in popular culture as a symbol of evil or Satanism, particularly when inverted. Inverted means upside down. They say that that's the horns and this is the goatee of Satan when it's upside down. But let's see, relatively recent, but that's a relatively recent association. Today it continues to appear in spiritual practices, fashion, art, and media, bridging ancient symbolism and contemporary aesthetics while retaining its core meaning of protection, balance, and spiritual connection. That is what the pinnacle and the pentagram are. Protection, balance, and spiritual connection. In summary, the pentagram is far more than a mystical or occult symbol. It is a timeless emblem of harmony, health, and unity of the natural and spiritual worlds. That's why spirit is at the top of the elements. Also ether, it's either spirit or ether is what they're going to call for the point, represents the top point. And reflecting humanity's enduring aspiration towards balance, beauty, and divine understanding. Its rich history across civilizations underscores its role as a symbol protection of knowledge and spiritual insight rather than fear. So if you're watching all these B horror movies and you see this, they don't know what they're talking about, basically, because they want everything to be scary. I think these B horror movies, or horror movies in general, that have no idea, they just throw something together trying to make it be scary, has given everybody the impression that this is a bad symbol, and it is not. So pentagrams and stars in church windows, we're going to tell you about that. In many churches, especially in Catholic and early Christian traditions, pentagrams without the circle, just the pentagram, the 5-pointed stars, and related star symbols appear in stained glass and mosaics as ritually symbolic Christian emblems. Historical Christian symbolism. The pentagram has deep roots in both Jewish and Christian traditions. In the Hebrew scriptures, it was associated with the 7 seals and the first 5 books of the Bible, the Torah, first 5 books of the Bible, representing truth and divine order. In early Christianity, it was often linked to the 5 wounds of Christ on the cross, making it a positive emblem of the Savior. Before the cross became dominant, Christians used the pentagram on jewelry, amulets, and seals, sometimes alongside the Greek alphabet or Greek letters Alpha and Omega, symbolizing Christ as the beginning and the end. The inverted star, when it's upside down, many church windows featured an inverted 5-point star known as the morning star in Revelations 22:16, symbolizing Jesus Christ. Now, it is funny that the Bible talks about Satan being the morning star. It also talks about Jesus being the morning star. So that's could be why they started using this symbol with it inverted as a satanic symbol. I'm not sure, I haven't looked into that part, but that's with it being inverted, but it was not originally like that, and it's still in church windows like this in Europe, because that represented the morning star of Jesus. This form was used in early church on doors, banners, and stained glass, often combined with the cross as a sign of good and protection against evil. Famous cathedrals like Notre Dame, and cathedrals in Germany still display large stained glass inverted stars like that. Why they appear in the church windows. Theological meaning representing Christ's wounds, divine truth, and first 5 books of the Bible. And its connection is also linked to the Passion, the cross, and the presence of God. So, you know, you got all these meanings, and you got people saying, oh, that's evil. Well, people have chose to make that evil. Now, also, I did want to touch base on this because a lot of preachers will talk against this because they really don't know. To them, anything they don't understand or go back in time and do any research on is evil. You know that, I know that, we all do. But did you know that the cross worn by Protestants, just the cross, has pagan roots and was used as a symbol in various pagan religions long before Christianity? In ancient Babylon, but that is, you know, we'll talk about that another time because that could be a whole show in itself. So just letting you know that just because somebody tells you it's evil does not mean it is evil. It's far from evil. On the Pentacle and the Pentagram. So that is the truth about the Pentacle and the Pentagram. And The next show is going to be, we're going back to herbs. It's going to be on maca root. And make sure you like and subscribe. We need you.